Okay, so hello everyone, I am Kanika and I'll give you some content about unlawful agreement, which is also known as immortal. According to section 23 of Contract Act, constitution of an objection agreement is the unlawful unless it is forbidden by the law, in such that if permitted it will defeat the positions of the law, any law, or it is fraudulent or involves or implies injury to the person of another or the court regarding to the immoral or opposed to the public policy. There are some provisions in section 23 of Contract Act which explains how the conditions are satisfied if there is an agreement of an unlawful contract or an agreement forbidden by the law. If the object of the government has a consideration of the agreement is the doing of an act which is forbidden by the law, agreement is void. Then second, if it is such of a nature of that it is permitted, it would be defeat the provisions of any law. That means directly lead to the violation of the law. It is fraudulent. Any agreement whose object is to be defraud others is void. If it involves implies to the injury to the person or property of another person. If the court regards it as immoral. If the court regards it as opposed to the public policy. Then, what comes under public policy? Trading with an enemy. Agreement for softening prosecution. That means an agreement with supply of criminal charge is void because if a person has committed a crime, public requires that he should be prosecuted. Second, in public policy only, agreement infringe the course of justice and agreement enter into the object of exercising the improper influence on judges or offers of justice in bad law as opposed to the public policy. Fourth, agreements tending to abuse of legal process. There are many two-way agreements under the head. One is maintenance and another is in samperty. According to the period of limitation, agreement reduces to increases the period of limitation. As laid down by the law, it is in limitation is opposed to the public policy. Traffic in the public offenders. An agreement where an appointment to a public office is procured for mandatory consideration is against the public policy because it would cause corruption and administration of the state. Agreement creating an interest opposed to the duty. ऐसे agreement दो interest opposed to duty के opposed मतलब duty नहीं हो फिर भी किया जाए. Agreement is telling free personal freedom. कोई अपना काम कर रहा है उसके against जा रहा है वो चीज़. Opposed to the parental rights and duties. Father is supposed to be guardian of his children. In the absence of his father, his mother acquires a right as a responsibility and right cannot be bartered away. If father is not there, mother have a right. Okay, then. If both are there, both have their rights. Marriage brokerage agreements. There are some marriage brokerage agreements also. Agreement to pay reward to a person of negotiating the marriage is opposed to the public policy. Last. Three agreements which are opposed to public policy. Agreement in restraint of marriage, agreement in restraint of trade, and agreement in restraint of legal proceedings. Now we come in the more content of this. What should we say? Unlawful agreements. They are coming to an little end. A change in the era. Always notice a change in the societal norms, especially when it comes to determining what is immoral and what is lawful. Therefore, it is considered that it is not possible for the law to set universally accepted restrictions to scope for important contracts. Immorality is fluid immorality that cannot be determined by the current standards and norms and recent judgment, but the consequence of an agreement coming under immorality will always remain the same. That is unlawful and unenforceable. How? Immoral agreements never find protection. जो immortal agreements होते हैं उनका protection नहीं होती. Because the application of section 23 of Indian Contract, it proves, I told you, there are some things that prove that immortal agreements will never hinder protection. All agreements once regarded to the gains or in a position of are normally accepted or the standards or a morality will be considered to be void. Then how? Unlawful or being immoral. It having never accepted since the time that there is immoral and hence the law will never allow it. That how it should be accepted or how it is contrary to the future. The scope of the immoral agreements will continue to change the changing time but will never be out of the scope of section 23, making them unlawful and unenforceable. So here we understood that what is a little conclusion of unlawful agreement. Unlawful is a wrong agreement. Unlawful is an immortal agreement. There are some conditions which you have to satisfy to complete the agreement. It is given in a Contract Act, Section 23. I hope you get some of the gist of unlawful agreement. Besides whether there are lawful agreements, I'll make next video on lawful agreements. Thank you so much everyone. I hope you understood